for coming. June 5th meeting, pledge please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Joe Bailey here.
John Hutchins here.
John Colery, present.
Just for the record, because they John Jr. and John Senior. All right.
Dad.
Well, minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting of 5/22/17. Motion?
Alright, I move that we accept the minutes of the Board of Selectmen meeting dated 22 May 2017 as written.
My second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright, next will be the non-public meeting for May 22nd, 2017.
She says keep me company, she moves the chair away from her. I don't understand.
You want to sit up here by
She's
you?
supposed to be in front of me.
Yeah, 3 feet.
See, we got more people coming. We're gonna have 6 more people coming.
I move that we accept the minutes of the non-public meeting, Board of Selectmen
See?
dated 22 May
Yeah.
2017.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Get the date. Sit
All
right
right,
in the room.
audit representation letter.
You don't have to
This
sit
is from the
back.
auditor after they're complete every year, that just needs to be signed by the chair.
Thank you.
This is from back when we
Yep.
That was a $6,000 bill.
Yep, that's the final one.
So we had set aside $15,000 for the audit.
Yep.
What was the total payout on that?
$10,829, so we saved $3,170 this year.
This is the yearly audit for the
Right.
town.
Laura, I suspect that is doing no small part to the fact that you get all the work done ahead of time, so they don't spend
As long as.
days digging through and trying to straighten
Yep.
messes up.
Who conducts the audit?
Bash and Kluge, which is a private audit firm that we hire to do it, and they've been doing it for a lot of years. And just to expand on what was just said while John's looking this over, I remember when I first became a selectman, it would take, they come in for 10 days, 3 people. Okay, 10 days, 3 people to our
Okay.
books. We made some changes, Laura's here, Blandine is here to help Laura. We go down to basically 3 people for a week. Now we're down to 2.5 days with 1 person. And that's a significant savings to the town, obviously.
And the,
Thank you, Laura.
Just by having your ducks all lined up?
Just by doing it
Yes.
the right way.
and having done this job for a while, I know that, we'll say, year 1 that I can remember, there were 20 problems listed in the audit. Year 2, it's the same 20 problems. They were not resolved. Along comes Laura, you get that list down to, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, or none?
I don't think I've had any
Yeah, therein
the
lies
last
the
couple of
difference.
years,
Right.
yeah.
Well, that's why you're gonna give her a raise.
And again, this is the document we get of the overall findings of the audit. And always after they have done their assessment and stuff like that, they will have the bullet points of things that need to be worked on. There's none on here.
But that has to be submitted to the state?
No. Basically, what happens is, we submit our paperwork through the process through the town, whatever, and this just actually backs us up what we've already done, so to speak, so.
It helps if down the road, for some reason, there is questions about how money was spent or not spent. You can look at the town books and someone say, oh, we ever audited? The answer is yes, we're audited every year.
And to be honest with you, I mean, it's one of those things with Laura, I mean, the toot Laura's horn here, so to speak, she's cleared it up along with help from some others, but she is on a pretty much a daily and first name basis with the DRA, which is a great place to be at. You know, and same thing with the auditors and with Landine still, I mean, they all work in this little circle to make sure this is done right. So, I mean, and obviously, financially, it shows that we're, you know, she's doing a good job,
Think
so.
Farmington does this way? Never mind.
You know,
We know how that works though, because with our CPA doing our taxes, when we hand him a set of documents, it's all itemized and listed, and even some totals done up for him, so that the bill to us is minimal and we're covered for.
Everybody wins.
You know, the more organized and the more thorough you are, the better off it is for them, the less it's gonna cost you to get it done, so.
Some people walk in with a shoebox full of receipts and say, here, figure.
Yeah, well, yeah, that costs money.
Joe mentioned DRA, everybody know what DRA is?
Department of Revenue,
Department of Revenue Administration. It's a state.
Alright, so, let's see, the SCBA lease agreement.
Okay, so finally heard from this guy. So you have to, this is like one of those other agreements, you must vote for Joe to be the authorized signer as the chair before he signs it. And then there's another spot here where he can't be the one signing as for the resolution page. So there's another, you know what I mean?
Like
So you just gotta be
someone grants
careful.
you that.
Right, so one of you others have to sign that, but I've labeled everything where you need to sign.
Is that because the money's coming out of different funds?
It's a lease agreement, so you have to sign the lease papers. And you already wrote the first check that goes, the down payment. And I already sent to the attorney, because there's a part here, the attorney option letter. So that's not in here yet, because she hasn't sent it back. So you can either just say you're gonna do, well, you do this after, but you have to put it in the minutes that you're agreeing to do that.
What's the attorney's letter for?
It's an opinion of counsel letter, like that we're getting into a good agreement, like she'll read through this whole, it has to go in with the documents.
and SCBA stands for the record.
This, go ahead, John, you like this?
Self-contained breathing apparatus. Oxygen tanks is the common term, it's not pure oxygen. You might perhaps remember scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Same idea, except it's not underwater. It's what the firefighters use when they go into a burning building. Okay? And the ones we had, I guess still have, are on a expiration date. Like, can't use them anymore because they're not certified. So at the March meeting, we voted to get more SCBA equipment. Okay? This is the lease of the
Now, this is just a 5-year payment plan, right, not a 10?
Right, it's 5. There's actually a schedule, yeah, right here. So this is the check that we wrote today that will accompany this when it's all complete. And then you'll have 4 more payments.
Annual payment.
Annual payments, yeah.
And at that point, we can buy them for $1, right?
Right, you buy off the,
Is the question,
Yeah,
is
go
the
ahead.
fit testing done? Is that a part of the fire department's budget? Fit
The,
testing for the SCBA's?
they're all universal. The only testing that needs to be done, not testing, is the masks, small, medium, or large. But as far as the tank, they're all universal. Is that what you mean?
No,
I mean, the tanks are universal, but for the firefighters to wear them, do they not have to be fit tested?
the tank itself, no, just the mask does that, it hooks onto the tanks.
Right.
Right. And these new tanks, probably the least will be current and up to date, instead of us having to hire a third party to come in and do them all at one time. You know, once we get this lease program going, it will rotate them out, so we'll never be stuck in this position again.
It was just the tanks?
Yeah, it's just the
Okay.
tanks itself, so.
The tanks, the harness, the mask, and the airflow tube. They're only good for 10 years. And then after 10 years, you're not allowed to use them.
You know, I mean, we got at least 10, 12 right now that's, and then pretty much, most of them are out of date
At the end of the year.
at the end of this year, so we're stuck. Either buying new ones for $120,000 or going to a lease payment, which is pretty much a simpler way of doing it, and we'll never be in this predicament again. So, no, I think that everything we're doing, it seems to be, the lease is the proper way of doing it now, so. But,
You know, my last question, I know at town meeting this was brought up about funds doing this, doing that.
Mhm.
That's all been straightened out.
Mhm.
okay, so,
I make a motion that we nominate Joe to be the signor.
So move, second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
yeah,
Tony, during your time in the military, what did we call them in the military?
General.
OBAs.
Huh?
OBAs?
OBAs.
Oxygen breathing apparatus.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Or
Yeah,
two canisters.
it's interesting because
Remember that?
Yeah, or two canisters in place with.
Yeah,
I was in charge of that stuff on the airplane. Part of my job in the airplane.
okay.
Forgot all about that. That was a lot of years ago.
Yeah. And then the civilians called them Scott Apex for
Yeah.
quite a while.
That's what we had down at the airlines.
Yeah,
Scott's.
Scott Apex.
Teach the flight attendants how to pull their hair up from the inside.
Make sure you don't sign the wrong spot there, whatever she was talking
Those
about.
guys now with their ponytails have to do the same thing.
If you do, I have that digitally, I can reprint it. Look at the key.
Makes a mistake.
Yeah, because I just printed.
Apparently
the
you're used to
email.
this.
I am,
Okay.
because
Probably.
it's very wordy and it's here, there, and everywhere, so.
Probably for me making mistakes.
this next thing on the, let's move on to the census thing, like that, we can talk about Laura, while I'm signing
All right.
stuff.
So, we're looking to basically, stop using UniFirst for our paper products, our rugs, and our uniforms at the highway. We've had nothing but problems, and we pay for a lot of things I think we don't receive. So, we've met with several different companies, Ed Brennan, myself, Rick Washburn, and this seems to be our best deal is Cintas.
Okay.
I can save just alone $20 on a roll of hand towels and about $15 on a roll of toilet paper per roll. That's just here. I can save $5.62 on the scraper mat for outside each time. 90 cents on the 3x10s, and I think we have 4 of those. And 35 cents on the 3x5, and I have 4 of those each time. So it'll add up. Rick's saving, what did he say, about $1,200 to $1,400 a year just in his uniforms over there, and they'll get more uniforms for still saving that money. So he just wanted me to bring this forward to say that if we can start that process, it's gonna take probably a month to switch over. UniFirst has a $500 breaking the contract, so we're gonna keep the rugs until the contract runs out and just switch everything else so that we don't have to pay the $500.
How much longer for the contract?
Till November,
Of
end of
this year?
November, yep.
Can you change the amount of rugs and just get the rugs?
Well, I can, yeah, but I mean, the rugs are the only thing that they really don't screw up. I mean, I'm still chasing down a case of toilet paper that was supposed to be here like 2 weeks ago that I haven't received. I have a credit I haven't received. They have pants that are missing. So there's the easy, and I think the bigger savings is with my paper products, so I don't wanna keep that, cause I could be saving a boatload of money. But that's just my section, this is their quotes.
You guys got to sign something.
I use Cintas everywhere.
Me?
I know.
They were the best deal. One of the other companies I met with, he was literally telling me to shop at Staples for my paper. So I was like, okay, so what is he for? So he was a no, his card went in the trash.
Pretty good.
Now, talking to Rick a little bit about this like that. Say you wanna go from, June first till November first, and you want short pants and short sleeve shirts. You can get this, or you can have long pants, short sleeve shirts, vice versa, whatever combination you want. November first, they automatically switch over to winter gear for you to have, and it won't mess up the contract whatsoever. They don't mind doing that, which is good. So, very, very, a lot more versatile than what we're getting now for our money. So, and we will not get held up with that $500 with just using rugs only, right?
Correct, we should, because I've been getting rid of things along the way.
Okay. So, how did the other guys come in too, as far as?
One of them won't even give us everything that we wanted.
Okay.
So they were a no right off the bat. Like I said, one guy was telling me to shop at Staples, so he was a no. And then one of them's been bought out by this company, one or the other, out of the four.
Staples is doing all right for you.
You know what, when you need toilet paper, you just need toilet paper. So,
remember-
order it from
remember
where
the
I can get it.
cartridges?
Yeah, but, yeah, exactly, they're saving us money. Actually, Joanne Kosky is saving us money.
The highway crew has uniforms of sorts, so that they're identified as part of the highway crew. Right? And the town pays to keep them clean. So we never hear excuses like, well, I can't wear my proper shirt because it's in the wash.
We at one time entertained the fact that maybe just have the guy, give those guys an allotment of money to buy some pants or whatever. Well, the big issue is now they have to clean themselves at home and the wash and dry with the grease and all the other stuff that they have to go through. So they kinda don't wanna go through that, which is, we can understand that, so.
Is that you? Is it authorized director you?
I don't know, bank qualified certificate, or is that me?
What is it?
Bank qualified certificate, is that me?
No.
Master lease purchase, David?
I have to read it, I can't read it from here.
These guys even have,
I don't
flame,
think it is him.
these guys even offer flame retardant uniforms as well, which is pretty good, I mean, if you're working around flammable liquids like over there and stuff like that. It's like $17 per shirt, so that's like minimal money for the extra protection.
Yeah, that's us, because what we're saying is that we're
Who
representing,
signs?
you do. Signature
Okay, well,
individual
That was in
authorized
the,
to execute.
that was in the stuff you said I didn't sign on, that's why.
No, there isn't.
It was in the back copy.
Yeah, but there's only like that one that you don't sign.
Okay, well, this one here then.
Yeah, that one.
This one has to be other than the chairman.
Okay, I didn't know. You guys wanna talk about this uniform thing more, or no?
Well, I wrote my name in one other spot.
Like I said, if it's wrong, I can always say thank you.
Okay. How often does Cintas come?
They would come Wednesdays. So right now we do Tuesdays, we'd be switching to Wednesdays. They can come as often as you want. So I talked about like the rugs, like in the winter they get pretty like used more because of the wet snow
Right.
and the salt, so they can come more often. We just tell them when we want items. But they would come weekly for Rick over there.
Where is Westbrook, Maine?
On the other side of Portland?
I don't know.
No, it's on the other side of Portland.
Okay.
Yeah, next time, I'll come to Portland.
They're gonna be doing, I guess, the Prezios they're looking at. They were meeting with Rosie the other day.
Okay.
They're up here all the time.
All right.
Cintas is one of the biggest companies.
They just bought out, was it Z Medical? Z and C and K something.
Yeah,
CK
is another
uniform.
little company.
Yeah, they just bought them out.
That's crazy.
I move that we accept the bid from Cintas to provide cleaning for shirts and uniforms for the town of Middleton Highway Department employees. And that the contract with UniFirst runs until November with mats cleaned only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good.
Cool. Rick will be happy. Alright, old business, bulk pickup concerns?
Okay, so I tried to get them here tonight, he could not make it. He said we can try to be at our next meeting, that was Peter LaChapelle. He's been on vacation until like this morning, so that's why he isn't here. I did do some more research on the ones that we've talked about. Right here. So this is Summersworth, I was able to print this right offline. This is Summersworth charges, how their program works. I printed it all, and I have an email from the Municipal Association Legal that tells you if you can change, because you had that question
Right.
whether you can change the contract, and there's their answer.
Yes, you
There's
can.
Waste Management, do Summersworth?
Yes. So this is the options that they
Christine, you were
have.
here last time, so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, how much bulk did we do this year? Did we
I'll give
double?
you the good number first. In 2016, bulk pickup springs, that one pickup in the springtime, 40 tons. Spring of 2017, 72 tons, almost double. Okay, so we're looking at other ways of doing this. I've talked with many citizens. I'm gonna guess I'm up to probably 15 or 20. I talked at our association meeting. Anybody that's willing to listen to me, and they all agree that we need to make a change. The idea we have in mind is to, whenever we start, give everyone through their tax bill a certain number of free stickers. I don't know what the number is yet. I'll pick a number, 5. Every time you wanna put a large item out that's not regularly picked up in the weekly trash, put a sticker on it, and then it will be picked up with the weekly trash. You buy a new sulfur, you can put the old one out for the pickup next week. When you're done with your 5 stickers, for example, but you have more stuff during that calendar year, you would come to the town hall and buy stickers. It's intended to stop people from putting out 7 or 8 mattresses, 4 or 5 dining room chairs, a couple of dining room tables, a couple of recliners, all into the guys that came from their house. It didn't come from their house. It came from their friends in other towns. Well, it's free here, just bring it in and we'll take care of it.
Was it ever looked into of why it almost doubled? Like, was it people from other towns coming in and dumping?
It's pretty hard to
Could we
prove
prove
that,
it?
but it's obvious that something's going on. Population has not doubled in a year.
Yeah.
The trash has certainly doubled. What was the opinion from the lawyers? Can we initiate this ourselves?
I believe so, because you're not changing the actual contract,
Right.
you're still providing a service, I think that's what that's, and rid of these.
Well, the bulk pickup thing was never anything, it's a contract, other than the fact that Waste Management can do it for us. That was something that the town, something prior to us, thought would be a good thing to help, so it's not being put out in the woods and that sort of thing, like whatever, to help get rid of stuff. But now it's become a dumping ground for others, and we're paying for it, and this was a big, big deal this past spring, because of the fact it took them a week to pretty much do it, several different days. It really put a burden on Waste Management, but you can't predict this kind of stuff. We don't know what's gonna happen, and I know for a fact, I mean, Laura's seen it, down the street down here, okay, I'm not gonna say where, but basically, one house that has elderly people in it, 7 mattresses. You know, that didn't come out of one little house. So, it's the friends and family thing going on. Come to Middleton, it's free, get rid of it. So, Joanne.
They think it's free, but they're really paying for it.
Well,
Yes,
no,
we're all paying.
no, it's free to the people outside town, it's gonna be free,
Um,
so.
When we were going around collecting signatures for the petition for self-coverage, a lot of people brought up the subject of recycling again. I think that's an issue that's gonna have to be revisited at
Well,
some point.
let them bring it up and revisit it. I mean, we tried it once, it didn't work, it cost a lot of money, so.
And from what I got, the general consensus of opinion from other people was that it works in Rochester with 1 barrel for every household. The only way that you get people to take part in the recycling business is to limit the amount that they can put in their regular trash. So that's-
And that brings the next question up, who enforces it? Is
Well,
that the,
when you,
who enforces it in Rochester?
they put out the green barrel, if that green barrel has overflow, if there are plastic bags sitting outside that green barrel in Rochester, they're
Right.
not picked up.
Okay, but who,
Who
what,
left?
so who, how does it get picked up after that? After it's left, who picks it up?
It's the landlord or the homeowner, whatever, that's,
Well, who enforces all the littering?
Exactly.
Right. And
Police would.
how did each address in Rochester get a barrel?
well, those were provided by the town at some point. Yes, I
Yeah,
understand that's
that's a
expensive.
pretty big cost there.
But it can also be a town ordinance to limit every household to, say, 2 or 3 or 4 35-gallon or whatever trash
Right.
barrels. And if there are extenuating circumstances, such as a home business or a large family or
Right.
something, they can talk to the selectmen about additional waivers or whatever.
I'm in favor of having recycling. I'd like to know who's gonna enforce that ordinance. Is it the,
Between the code enforcement and the police?
Well, I don't see how that's gonna work because, let's just say the police.
Well, why not the code enforcement who takes care of the littering?
Does he? He can't write tickets. He has no authority to write tickets.
So
Only
what's
police
his
people.
authority?
Only the police department can write a ticket for littering.
Then why do we have him?
Well, because there's other things like people building illegal decks or whatever, or additions on houses that he has to go and take care of, but, you
Well,
know.
he's the health officer if littering becomes a
I
health
know,
hazard.
but that's the
and-
whole thing, we gotta figure that whole part out, because who has the authority?
It would be nice to see the recycling come back because, quite frankly, when it was done the first time, it wasn't really done in an organized manner. I think we got one letter saying these are the dates, put a box out there that says recycling, and then that was it. And other than a couple of little messages on Facebook, I didn't know what day, and then I lost the paper, and then I couldn't remember what day was recycling and what day wasn't recycling.
Bob, that person coming in from Waste Management, is he,
Peter LaChapelle?
is he the contact for the whole town between us and them?
He's our sales manager for the town.
Is he the one that talked about recycling in the past
Yes.
with Mike?
I would like to think that you can make a deal with Waste Management on getting totes or something like that, cutting a deal, because I'm sure it would financially benefit them if we did recycling, would it not? Because they're still taking it away and they're still getting paid for it.
At the moment, I'm not sure it would benefit them because there's no market for recycled material. The price is way down, so. According to Peter LaChapelle, who sat here at one of our meetings, said it costs money to recycle. So I'm not sure that Waste Management is going to immediately say, oh yeah, we'll provide all this at a reduced price, when they're not getting any money for selling this stuff.
All due respect, I'd like a second opinion from somebody else at Waste Management.
Well, I
How
don't
long
wanna,
do you have to deal with Waste Management? Do they have a contract?
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 years left, I think.
I know this is being recorded and I don't wanna speak out of context, but on Route 1 in Saugus, they just built, I don't know, $100 million facility, JRN,
Yeah.
of all recycles. And they have milk bottles all out front, I mean, it's a beautiful design
Yeah.
building.
We drove past it. We went to the game.
Without intending to offend any possible lawyers in the building, I asked to get a legal opinion from New Hampshire Municipal Association. Okay? So, I'll read some of it. Dated June 1st. Good afternoon, Laura. Maybe the select board can modify certain aspects of the contract with the trash company without going back to a town meeting. Maybe. Blah, 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 blah. That's the lawyer, I believe it would be reasonable to assume that the select board could modify. We've gone from maybe to could modify the terms of the solid waste disposal contract, provided those modifications did not touch upon the term of the agreement, number of years, or the agreed solid waste delivered tonnage. Otherwise, the agreement would have to return to the town meeting for approval. The safest approach
Mhm.
would be to submit the modified contract to the town meeting to be ratified. So, in typical legalese, it's maybe, could be safest approach.
Well, we're used to those kinds of answers.
We are from him, yes,
Well, we are from whoever.
right?
Yeah,
So basically, I think it says you can do whatever you want, right? That's how I interpreted it.
unless we're gonna make a dramatic change to what
But I
the
don't
current
think
like
it would
this.
change your
I don't
contract
think so
wording at
either.
all.
Yeah, I
Right,
think so
okay,
either.
that's how I was reading it, alright, maybe. No. It's too
I mean,
wordy.
All we're going to do is try to save the taxpayers money overall, and the people who wanna take advantage like that can pay as they go, above and beyond.
Can we talk about recycling when he does come?
Yeah, always make
Sure.
it back up. Now, it failed the first time, because we had a number given to us of right around $18,000. I think a little bit less than that, but approximately
It's 14
$14,000
per year.
to get
Yes.
started on this. Within 6 months, we sold it 34,000, almost, whatever, in 6 months. So the townspeople at town meeting voted to stop recycling. If we went a full year, on the trend we was going, that would have been close to $70,000. And we thought it would only start about 14 to get started. And of course, the money is everything. So, obviously, so it was done away with. Doesn't mean it can't be talked about, it doesn't mean it can't be re-implemented. It's just gonna have to be done, I guess, a little bit more reasonable, with some more reasonable numbers. But starting a project out, you don't know what's gonna cost until you get into it anyhow. You can go average until whatever you want, but
Once again, nothing against Peter LaChapelle, but I'm thinking that with the PR, that recycling here in Middleton, the PR benefit to waste management, is something that they should consider. They do a lot of community service stuff. I would think that they could somehow manage to cut us a deal just to implement the program, to get it off the ground.
But how is it beneficial for recycling for waste management?
The PR for them, for one thing, and again, it's a community service that they're already involved in doing all kinds of good things for various communities. This could just be another one of them. I think we could appeal to someone in the company that would listen to us, that we really need to get this up and running. And I think once the program becomes a standard in the town, you'll find it a lot more effective, a lot more participation in it.
If that didn't work, could you not go with another company just for recycling?
Well, the problem with that
I
is.
think that would
sorry.
change the terms of the agreement, because we would reduce what they are expecting to pick up. Right now, they pick
Well,
up
if
this
they're not
much.
willing to meet us halfway and negotiate, could we not say, okay, if you don't wanna give us a deal on recycling, we'll find a company that is willing to for recycling?
I'd have to go back to the lawyers, but my first thought is, we agreed that waste management picks up our trash. If we change that to say you only pick up this much of the trash, and somebody else picks up recycling, that might be cause for concern.
But they'll be picking up trash. Recycling is recycled.
Other companies
Yeah,
were
but-
researched, and it seems that most of the other companies either didn't respond or were more expensive.
Yeah.
And that might have been the motivation for Waste Management to say, well, 14,000 might be too low, let's bring the price up a little bit.
That's what I heard.
Well, I think when they came to the quote to the committee, that it was 14,000, with the understanding that like 85% of the town would recycle.
right.
That's how it was sold. And when only 20%, there's your 30,000.
16%
Yeah, it was less
actually
than 20.
recycled.
And when somebody calls up and says, is recycling mandatory? Well,
Well,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not. Oh, well, good, then I don't have to sort my stuff, I'm not gonna bother.
But the thing is, it's not mandatory. We can't say it is if it's not, but.
But if you limit the amount that they can put in their regular trash,
But Joanne, the problem is you're gonna find, like in the old days, people want, if they wanna get rid of it, they're gonna go burn it out back, and, or they're gonna go dump it someplace else. Then they're just gonna go out in the woods someplace, like the old trash piles used to be.
but
If
if
you
it's
like-
a matter, if it's a matter of sorting and not sorting,
normal people, I can understand that logic with, but there are a lot of people who just aren't going to do it. They're just not going to. Now, it cost me a couple extra minutes to sit there and sort, but I don't wanna do that, you know, whatever. It's just easier instead of sorting it, just hold out back, or whatever. You know, I mean, it's,
As one who spent a fair amount of time living someplace other than Middleton, I've probably been involved with more recycling than anyone else here. I'm a big fan of, I'm used to recycling, I understand how it works. Just trying to get people here to do it would be the idea. You know.
and not picking on any segment of the population here, but a lot of people from out of town, where they live, already recycle.
Yeah.
So up here would not be a big process to come for them, just to continue doing it while they're here. You know, it's more the residents who, some of them don't wanna just be, but not be bothered doing it. And you stop and consider, we only have roughly 1,800 residents here in town. It's not a lot, honestly, if people just buy into the program. But you gotta get them to buy, so.
Anyway, if people are interested, by all means, I'd be glad to listen to folks again and
Absolutely.
be glad to have it come up before the town again. And, the people that were interested in it before helped to get it started, but not much else beyond that. So maybe a different group that would continue, as you say, with more information about when is recycling going to be held.
And I really think that more realistic, okay, it's gonna cost you, say, 15,000 if 85%, well, what if only 50%? Like that, what's it gonna cost us? You know, you need to have some better numbers than what we have. That way people really know what they're getting into, if you don't recycle. I think that's the best sales pitch right there. You don't wanna recycle, it's gonna cost you. If you want to, boom, 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 and break it down, you know? I mean, this is your tax money, and what do you wanna do with it? You complain about certain little dollar amount things here, but you got a big nut right here you can save money on, you don't wanna be bothered with. It's like, I don't understand that, but, so, anyhow. We all set with that? Okay. Now, moving on to the forest warden. This ought to be
I
fun.
didn't know if you had any updates. I know I got another letter I put on your desk.
Yeah, so,
Is that the
I
same
put it in-
letter?
yeah, I put in a call, let me explain what's going on. The district forest ranger appoints each town's fire warden, deputy warden, based on the recommendation from the selectmen. In April, we sent a letter to him suggesting that these individuals become warden and deputy warden. The response we got was from a letter dated December of 2016, listing the same people that have always been on it. Okay? So I don't know whether they didn't see the new letter or they ignored the new letter. I've put in a call to them and haven't gotten anything back, so I will try again. Okay? It would be nice to have fire wardens and deputy fire wardens that are still active within the fire department doing this. One of the deputy fire wardens appointed doesn't even live in town anymore, right? Ryan doesn't live here.
No.
Right. So we need to get it corrected. I thought we had it corrected by sending a timely letter explaining who should have what position, and it was, as I say, either ignored or lost in the shuffle.
I will tell you, living on Lakeshore Drive, people ask me for permits.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't write them.
Right.
You can get them online now, just so you know. There's a $3 fee that goes to the state, but it is possible.
Who changed that? That's good.
The warden did when
Okay.
he found out that I wasn't writing as many, because
Right.
it's too much for just one person.
All right, so
So,
that's good.
yeah, it'll relieve some of the pressure.
Yeah.
So, new fire pits have to, whatever, have to be inspected, correct?
Mm,
Who
anymore.
does-
No.
So we just go online and do like that and do whatever you want?
Yep,
Okay.
and if there's an issue,
I just wanna know.
you check on, well, online, I I went on and like acted like I was doing it online, you actually check, I am the homeowner, I'm 18, my pin is this far, I've read the rules, and you check that.
It's the
So-
proper distance, it's the proper
Right.
size and all this
So
stuff.
if there's somebody calls in a burn at your location and it's 2 feet from the edge of your house, obviously you didn't follow the rules and they'll rip it up right then and there.
Yeah, but even if they rip up the permit, they're still burning.
But then now
But
you
so
can
many
get
people-
fined that you're burning without a permit, so if you do it again, you know.
So again, who enforces that?
Well, that I don't know, but
Uh,
at least I know how the online
But it's
paper
it's
works.
enforceable, we just don't know who does
Sounds
it.
like that should be the.
I think that should be another big
I would
project,
assume
down who
it's the
enforces
warden.
what and when.
Deputy
Yeah.
ones, right?
Yeah, I think we need a
What site are
checklist.
these available on?
It's on our website, our town website under the fire link, yep. Under the fire permit section, you can actually, there's a link there.
I was told that they get notification that an online application
Yep.
has been submitted,
You go online, you can see them, I guess if you're an administrator.
and you have to check them.
I didn't get that part from him.
Yeah, it's too much effort to write one up.
I just
Nobody
know
will
that
go online and look at
he
you,
can
got
go
'em.
on and see them, I'm not an administrator, so I cannot.
Right, but in order for the permit to be valid, they can burn, but he still needs to check them.
That I don't know, I literally did one and you could just print it, it's all good and done,
Mhm.
it's in hand, within a few minutes. And, just so you know, which is weird, the first rule is that you can burn leaves,
Oh, wow.
which
I
is
thought
huge.
that is long
Wow.
since gone.
Yeah.
I'll stop bagging those babies up and.
Why can't they change it so anybody on the fire department can write a permit?
Only the,
Yeah,
only
only the
the,
warden can do that.
Only the
Warden,
warden.
deputy warden can do that.
is,
Or you can do it you're all by yourself online?
And take your chances.
now the reason why you have to sign that affidavit online is, God forbid, something happens, house fire, something catches fire,
Natural
and you
selection.
lied on that application, your insurance won't cover it.
Or if you're a renter and you burn down the house.
Correct.
There
Just
you
like
go.
you have to say you own the house. There's lots of people that rent that Laura and a lot of other wardens will not give a permit
Not
unless you
unless
have
they
a letter.
have, yep, a letter from the landlord, and I can look that up, who the homeowner is. So. Yeah,
I would rather pay like our fire department, you know, $3 or $5 to come out and write it. I'd rather see the money go locally, but
Let's take it's $3.
let's take it's $3 out of all of us suckers.
Yeah.
Well, doing it online is supposed to it's supposed to be a convenience
Mhm.
for the tree warden and the deputies. However, there is only one deputy and one tree warden. And it's very hard for them, and I don't wanna speak for them,
No.
to go to every single household every single year and check out the fire pit.
Yeah.
And there's been numerous complaints about not being able to burn, and there's lots of people burning illegally without a permit. And I do know, I won't mention their names, but there's at least 3 offices that have asked people if they have a permit. So, I mean, I know the police have been asking and verifying that there is a permit.
Yeah.
But again, no one can be a policeman everywhere in the town every Friday night when everyone
Exactly.
comes up from their vacation homes.
Alright, I guess you can move on to Deer Run Road property.
okay, that's me, so I just have a generic question, we have a property that we had gone to court for a junkyard violation. So I guess it's in our hands, what do we do next? You can either go clean up the property and send an invoice to the homeowner, who currently probably owes over $20,000 to
In
us
taxes.
in fees,
And
court
fee,
fees,
fines,
yeah.
okay.
Because it's $50 a day from the first letter, which was in 15. So in April of last year, it was already 11,000. So I'm assuming it's been another year, so it's probably more. So I read the court order, and we can do that. And it also says that we have the right to, we have a lien on the property. I'm not sure who does that part. I don't know if the court does the lien, are we supposed to be doing the lien? Because I'm assuming it's probably not done. So do I lien it? Because I can. I mean, it's just a piece of paper.
Okay,
Do I call the court and see who's supposed to be doing
I'd like
the
to
lien?
know who's supposed to be doing the lien.
Usually it's the tax collector, because I talked to Avatar today,
Okay.
but I mean, she can do it, just,
So
as, you
this
know.
person went to court,
Yes, Because they had an
Lost-
illegal junkyard.
They lost their case to the court. They were given X amount of time to clean it up.
Yep,
They've not done that.
correct,
They've gone to court a second time.
yep.
They lost again.
Mhm,
And now legally, we can sit there and clean up the property because it's now town property,
mhm,
considered town property.
yep,
All the contents are town property, correct?
yep.
So anything that's on there, we can legally get rid of, dispose of, or keep, or whatever we wanna do.
Yeah,
Okay. Are there people living there?
yeah.
And can we evict them?
No, because you can only lien the property that they live in, but you can clean up the outside, is what that's how I read the decree.
Okay.
So you can't take the house, but you can lien the house, so you'll get every dollar back that they
Be
owe
able to
you
sell
once
or
they sell
whatever
the
happens.
house, right,
So, but regardless, I mean,
right,
Is that the one with all the bags of trash?
yes.
So what happens if something if the town owns the property and
We don't
something
quite
happens?
own the property, we have the right to go on there and clean the property, to
Oh.
make it to our rules, because they're not following the rules. Yeah,
the only
Oh,
caveat to this whole thing, no seeing the property, the only caveat to it, there are multiple vehicles on there that could possibly be sold through auction or whatever, or bid process, that could offset those costs, if it's legal to do so. I don't know about that yet either. Correct, so we gotta find out about that part of it. If those vehicles become the town property, we can legally get rid of them and offset our costs if we do go clean it up. Now, that may be something we can do, because I know one of them is a Corvette. So, there may be something we may have to look at and see what the value of those vehicles may be, if there's any value at all, and then do it, but I would like to, you know, I don't know, I mean, it can't continue, I mean, we've gone to court. We're paying our attorneys to take care of this, and if we don't do anything about it, why did we start in the first place?
so I guess my question is, it's just gonna be more costly. So that's my question, to clean it up, hire somebody, a company, whatever. And then if you can't sell the vehicles, we have to store them, so that's gonna be another cost. And you don't get that money back until they move, or they, or whatever.
Are they current on taxes?
I believe they are,
Okay, so we can't get them that way.
no.
So then my next question is, since you can have one unregistered vehicle on your property, they can say, nope, that Corvette stays, everyone else goes.
But I don't know if in this case that applies, because if we have the rights to remove everything,
Yeah,
I mean, the vehicles is something we have to find out about. Honestly, I mean, I don't wanna take anybody's property illegally either. Or get disposed of it illegally, but
But if
if
it's
it's
gone,
something, but
but if it's gone to court twice and they've lost and the town won, we should be doing something.
I agree. But again, this is going to be money that we're going to spend.
and not recoup.
We have no real way to recoup until X time in the future, whatever that may be. And the problem is, we don't know what's over there for stuff. It could be some hazardous waste stuff, we don't know. You won't know until you get in there and start cleaning it up. We may have ourselves a little super fund sitting over there, you don't know.
Yeah, but the town legally won't own the land. We're just leaning, like the mechanics leaning the house.
I know, but the problem is, that we're going to have to do it, we're gonna incur a costly expense to clean that place up. It's gonna cost us money. Whether the town does it with
So we'd
regular
have
guys
two
or whatever.
liens. We'd have two liens on the same property,
Right.
we'd have the one for the money that they already owe us, and then one for the bill of cleaning it up.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you wanna read the form thing and go get it?
No, we spoke about it weeks ago.
Yeah,
Laura, what happens if we clean the property up at a price of $50,000? So we put a $50,000 lien on the place, that they can live there. 3 years later, the yard is full of junk again.
yeah, we'll be right at the same, starting over. I think it would be a whole new court case and a whole. Yeah,
At the very least, I would think we'd be putting a lien on for the fines and fees that they have not paid.
mhm,
That would seem to be pretty easy to do, to recoup that money, which would then be used to pay our legal fees and more to clean the place up. I mean, what prevents them from selling it to somebody else right now, as is?
nothing.
Nothing. Okay?
Well, we don't know if they're lean on there or not.
I would say, I would bet the bottom dollar that there is not.
I would agree with you.
Because avatars, like normally it's, we would put the lien. It's our lien, we would,
Well, the lien would be listed, you could look at Stratford County
right,
Register.
which I can easily do, that would take 2 minutes, but yeah, according to avatar, usually it's the town that would lien.
Now,
Like if I do welfare, it was me that would,
this fine money continues to accumulate.
yes.
If we put a lien on it for, say, 30,000, next year, do we have to put another lien on it for another 10,000?
I don't know, because it's even all
Keep
of our
going.
legal costs, and I mean, those could keep accruing, I guess.
So how do you get that money back? What if they get up and sell the house or the property?
Well,
Then
we sold
we
it.
get,
Right.
if they sold it, we get the money first.
If there's a lien.
So at one point, if say if they accrue, $200,000 worth of fines and the house sells for 100,000,
We're out on grand.
yeah.
So we'd get the whole house and then we'd recoup whatever we could. Yeah, I know.
It's not a good situation, but
Well,
again,
the fines are not money spent out of the, that's
Right.
money accrued that he owes,
Right.
like
the only real expense we have is for legal fees at this point to pursue this, but again, that's not cheap either, so.
How big is this property?
It's good size, I think, isn't it?
The problem is your run now is a private road, it's not even a town maintained road. So, yeah,
Waste management now is picking up
Yeah.
curbside there?
you know where Deer Run is?
Yeah.
When you're going down towards Dunkin' Donuts,
Uh-huh.
down the hill. It's that last road on the, as you crest the hill on the right hand side, where all the garbage used to be piled up out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
But that's not being piled up no longer. The Waste Management has decided that they will go down in there and pick up the trash house to house, instead of having this big amount of trash bags sitting out there at the end of the road, so.
It's about
Except,
1.5 acres.
It's,
except what happens in the wintertime, when, because it's a private road, you can't get down there with a truck. There's a pretty good hill on that road.
yes, there is.
And the people who live there, don't maintain the road. I don't see them putting a huge trash truck down in there, so we're gonna be right back at this in the first
No,
snow.
I think so too. You're absolutely right. But for right now, in the summertime, it's golden. That's no point.
How many houses are on Deer Run?
Probably maybe a dozen.
And people live in them,
Yeah,
so ambulance and fire can get down there?
Only if it's plowed.
Live for your dime.
and their reward for living on a private road is that their taxes are somewhat reduced because there is no guarantee that they will have police, fire, or ambulance protection. Okay.
They came to us, the board, some in the past, boards, trying to get that to be town maintained road, and it's not even close to being, but the town would accept for that class of road to do that, so our road agent very much against it, so.
But the town has offered an out. If all the residents of the town, of that road agree to it, the town would float a bond to have the road updated to acceptable levels. And it would come out of each person's tax bill until that bond was paid off. Each person that lived on the road.
Not the whole town per se,
Right,
just
so
the
if
people
this-
that live there.
12 people and it costs $120,000 to fix the road. Then each one would, over the course of a few years, pay that $10,000 each as part of their tax bill to get that road repaired. Okay. Much the same way that in the village district, it was voted to repair the dam at Sunrise Lake. And now, all of us, including you folks that live in the village district, pay extra taxes above and beyond people that don't live in the district, okay? I bet half the town lives in the district, okay? Easily half. Alright,
Great.
So, I guess, Laura, my suggestion would be to find out for the next meeting, if we can issue a lien for fees and fines already
Yep, I know we can, it's in the decree,
Okay,
so
so,
I
Okay, so
know
let's get
that,
started on that.
so I'll do that,
and I
okay.
don't think the lien has to have a dollar amount, does it?
Usually it does, because
Yeah.
when the realtors and stuff call, when they go back, it says for a specific amount.
So if we're looking to the future, maybe for $150,000.
But I mean, I can write what it is of today, increasing this much per day,
Right.
like
Okay,
the agreement says.
I think it's-
And also, could you find out, please, if there is a mortgage on the property and someone decides to sell, who gets the money first? The bank holding the mortgage or the town holding the lien?
I believe liens are first.
Town,
yes.
yeah.
Okay,
I believe liens are first and then the mortgage.
okay.
Next month, I'm in the process, I get 2 landlords who have not paid me for services from March, in the blizzard, and I'm gonna be putting liens on their buildings. So if they wanna do anything in the future, come see Joe first.
And that's usual mechanics. So
I do mechanical lien. Legally, I cannot go in there and take the equipment I put in out.
Take that furnace off.
I thought about doing that, but I can put myself and my license and my business in jeopardy by doing so. To put a mechanical lien on it, if they ever wanna sell this or get a loan towards it or whatever, they have to certify the liens first.
you'll get it eventually.
Not to mention, I would think you would offer lots of free advertising.
Yeah. So, no, it's unfortunate that the nature of the business, I guess.
But they sure appreciated the help when it was
But
10 below and no heat.
I drove from Middleton to Laconia in the blizzard and back. When I diagnosed the problem like that, the supply house rate in Guilford had the part, but they closed at 1 o'clock and I didn't find out till 3:30, what I needed. They were already gone home. Oh, I can go back next day. So, anyhow. All right, so there's nothing else on the old business.
You know,
Yeah, any updates on,
No, that's okay, that's what, bring it up on the, you know. Do you have anything, Mike? No, okay. Go right ahead.
just looking for any updates on the discussion that we had at the last meeting.
This is the Franklin ordinance, okay? And pacing is called a disorderly residence ordinance, okay? And there's all kinds of definitions of what it is like that. This is obviously something from a town or city that we have to make into a town document. So we're gonna have to go down through this and make a lot of changes if we decide to do this. And if we do decide it, obviously we have to send it to legal for approval. And then, once that's done, we can say, this is it, and be enforceable. So,
who passes it, us or the
yes,
town?
we do,
Us.
Board of Selectmen. So it's gonna be a document, I'll take it and take a look at it and stuff, work on it, okay? Make it work with us, make these guys for a proofread, make their changes as they want, okay? Once we get all that done, we'll send it off to our legal people. They will take a look at it and say, yes, you can do it the way it is, you're ready to go. We'll bring it back to a public meeting and we'll vote on it, and then at that point, it becomes enforceable.
And did you discuss that with the chief and all? Cause I know he was the one that
He's
actually
gonna help
brought
me
it.
get this,
Oh, good.
so yes.
Have you noticed the surrounding area? That it's.
Their yard's cleaned up a little bit, but the trash in that next lot's still there. And there's trash in the lot next to us. Across from us and to the right of us. That's still there. Bicycles.
Boat.
There's a lot that's right across the street. There's a lot of kids' toys and
Yeah.
there's a little swamped out area there that anything that falls into that, well, that just stays there. And there's nobody else that's on that lot except for
Them.
them and their kids. It's, you know, aside from the kids being in the road and being a hazard, just waiting for one of them to get hit and then the cry that they're the victim somehow or another. But I was also curious as to where's this Farmington bus coming up on a daily basis up the road and dropping kids off. I've got neighbors that live on the other end of the road, Jim and all them down at the other end, brings his daughter up. Middleton school bus picks their kids up at the end of the road, but the Farmington bus stops right in front of their house.
Every morning and every
What is
afternoon.
that?
So the kids can go
Still?
to 5 minutes.
Yeah, this morning.
I've got John Malone working.
I have a picture of it from 8 o'clock this morning.
Well, I mean, we're aware of it.
Yeah,
I'd like it, just trying
Did he
to
get
figure
my-
out.
Yep,
okay.
he's been working on it all afternoon.
Okay,
So he's
I
talked
did
to
drop
several
off-
people.
Mhm.
He did have a couple of questions. I don't know if you want me to do this on the camera or
That's
not.
fine.
Cause he needs to know who's living in the downstairs.
I have
If
no
you
idea.
know,
I have
no.
zero clue who's living
Or
downstairs.
which kids are getting off the Farmington bus. He didn't know if you knew them either.
No clue who these
Okay.
kids are. It's, there are so many kids. It's like my head spins when I pull
Since
onto
those
my
people
street.
have been there, the number of vehicles that are in and out, the kids dropped off in the morning, back when I used to work night shift, you know, I would get off in the morning, I'd see kids being all different vehicles.
Cause I
And
think if
even
it's
then,
the
still
same, it
now,
might be different.
it's just, the vehicles that pull in 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sure they're working families, but it's just like, I don't think that they're a licensed daycare facility. for
Right,
one.
I've looked into that too. That's with Malone.
Yeah.
He literally was on the phone all afternoon with different, cause he kept
But
coming
it's
and
even
asking
if they're
me
keeping the
questions.
kids, it's not just their kids that's out in the road.
I mean, their
it's
kid-
all
there's-
these kids I've never seen before. It's new one pops up, seems like every couple of weeks. I'm like, I don't know who this kid is.
And they're there on the weekends.
We're not talking, you know,
School
kids that,
vacation.
you know, that can exercise good judgment. I pull down the road and watch their kids sit there and look me dead in the eye and pull right out on the bicycle and they slam on the brakes and I'm like, what is up with this? You know, and it's just like, you know, sorry. Really? The next person that comes flying down through here ain't gonna be looking for you.
And now the person that, I assume it's the person that lives in the basement, but his car has been like junked out on the side and it hasn't moved in a week or two.
And you sure that's his car?
I think it
Pretty
is.
sure
It's
it
you
is.
see him coming and going,
I've seen him run over the
but you don't see him
bicycles
coming and going recently because I think the car is broke down.
I know it's his car because I pulled him out of the snowbank during the winter time.
So we need to just run that plate, who that is, right? Listen,
It's just the front of their yard has gotten better, but I'll say that it usually happens right around this time of year. Her mom comes over and cleans up and does a little bit of whatever, and then it's always short-lived. You know, right when
Oh, look, we have some room for her.
It's just the history of that property.
it's everything
that-
is just it's
not
very
just
short-lived.
them, but the residents that have been there before, to watch vehicles come in and out of there after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. In and out, come in, somebody gets out of the vehicle, goes inside the house, 15 minutes later comes back out, gets in their car and leaves. And you're like,
And then there's another car.
and I've been in a lot of different places in this world, including the United States. Obvious, you know, but it's just, you know, aside from giving the police, you know, the tag numbers of every vehicle that's in and out of there. And
I've
it's
done
interesting
that
when we
as well.
do this, that all of a sudden things quieten down. And I'm like, if somehow or another they get the word, and I don't know how that happens, and I really don't care, I just don't want drug deals and stuff like that to go across the street. Or down the parking lot from the Lake Association, like, the people that were there before then were even doing,
Oh, down by the basketball.
Yeah.
which we're missing by the
And
way.
the basketball,
Somebody
both
stole
our basketball nets are down.
Yeah, one is in my yard. We have to look into replacing, and the other one was taken down
it. Got knocked
and then
down a couple
stolen.
weeks ago.
So now I have to report that to the police. So tomorrow or whenever I have a day off, I have to go down and report it that it's been stolen because it's like $400 or $500 basketball.
Yeah, they're about 400.
Just like your association, we have at least, I can pick out by face, 10 adult kids that use those basketball nets, that care for
Yeah.
those basketball nets. Other kids, much younger, in their area, is just possible vandalism.
We don't have any basketball hoops at all.
Yeah.
No place to play.
Ours are used. Ours
Yeah,
are
ours are
used.
used.
Well, you got that
every
nice
day.
paved
Yeah.
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And we actually voted and agreed to have them refixed because I brought up, you get a bunch of kids, and there's a lot of kids further into the neighborhood. You get a bunch of kids that are all 10 to 14, 15 years old, and they have nothing productive to do. They're gonna find something to do.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we voted to have it refixed, and he went down to go measure the pipe, and he's like, it's gone. And I called the president and she's just like, no, nobody's notified me that they, moved it somewhere else. So now I have to report that it's been stolen, so.
Probably around the neighborhood somewhere.
Yeah, that was my next thing. It's like, on the next dog walk, walk around the neighborhood and see if it's sitting in the back of somebody's yard.
Well, I will say, it's clean. I didn't know about the back and the side, but I noticed the next days
Yeah.
that it's clean. But this will be worked on, I know Joe said he'll do it.
Have they been approached by anybody in town? Is that why you think it's been cleaned, or is all of a sudden it's just clean? Because their MO is usually if they feel heat coming onto them,
It's cleaned
they
up
all of a
and it
sudden
stays
halos
clean
go
for
around,
about-
and then also this time of year, her mom comes around and does all sorts of whatever, and it's always short-lived. So I didn't know if they had a feeling that.
I don't know why they have the inkling of why they should be cleaned up. I don't think, nobody from town has said anything.
Okay.
That I'm
Are they
aware
savvy
of.
enough to read the minutes from online? in the
I think they're
computer?
too busy playing Candy Crush half the time, but I mean, who knows?
Because that's one way of
His-
finding out, it's all.
I will say his mom works for the Department of Welfare in Wolfboro, so
Yeah.
if anything is shady going on, I don't put it past anybody that, she would
Well, she's reading the minutes.
cover things, slide things around, do things.
Right.
If, I've made several calls to Section 8 and everything else, so I don't know if she has an in because her name is the same as their name, last
But
name.
nobody from the town here has contacted them.
Not
about
that I
it.
know of.
No, because I've got obviously working on this kind of stuff here to make
Yeah.
the ordinance of it.
Okay.
Joanne,
It's just,
Speaking of disorderly residences and health officers and things like that, what is the condition of the residents down there in Deer Run?
The condition of
I
it.
mean, is,
the one we were just talking about?
yeah,
I don't think we've ever been in it.
Inside the home?
yeah, I was just wondering, I mean, because
is it a
we had a
hoarder house?
situation with the guy on 153 at one point where the animals.
It's like
Yeah.
Elk over.
I'm just wondering
You can't see
if this guy is of such of a mind to put his trash out and leave it stacking up, what does the inside of his residence look
I
like?
don't
Is
think they've
that
ever been in there. I don't think, maybe Avdash's probably never been in there either.
Probably
They
not.
just probably do the thing that,
I'm wondering if he's living in a health hazard inside the house.
no.
It's a very good point.
Well, I guess basically, if we asked our health officer and a police officer to go down and do a welfare check on them and see, because we do have.
It might be worth,
It might be a thing, like, listen, you understand this is going on, what's your plans in cleaning stuff, if at all, is just do a little and at the same token, if you just knock the door, you can take a peek inside, see what's going on.
There's no trespassing signs and nobody's been home the 2 times that Avatar is noted being out there.
Okay, well, new trespassing is fine, but, I mean, if you have a health officer and a police officer down there, that doesn't
You
mean
can
that
trespass.
you're allowed to.
Right, I'm just telling you what their notes say,
Alright.
so they haven't been in there.
Okay.
I'm just wondering
Is
if
the
they
mail
were
being
checking
picked
out
up?
the inside of that residence.
Well,
to
so
if
I
they
can see
were-
tomorrow I gotta be in
Mail being
Wolfboro by
picked up.
8:30, 9 o'clock, I'll be done about 11, so I'll draw, I'll just text the chief, I'll come down through and I get a project for you. He'll be very happy with the
Is the
project.
mail being picked up, does anybody know? I mean,
Is what?
is the
The-
mail being picked up, is the mailbox overflowing, or?
No, I wouldn't think so, their taxes are paid.
Right.
Unless they're living
Just
out-
curious.
No, I mean, it's a good point.
I mean, because
Valid point.
other than
There are
that,
probably
you have,
several.
other than that, you have no recourse for recouping the cash if you can't attach the house financially
If it's
somewhere.
unlivable, you can force an eviction.
You said they learned an acre and a half,
Hmm?
1.5 acres basically down
Yeah.
there, so.
Yep. But I mean, can we go into somebody's house and say, because there's been others that I've questioned. With the health
Interesting
officer.
question.
I don't
I
think we
think
can.
if you have code enforcement, if you have a legitimate, reasonable
I would say. it's-
reason to be there,
I would say it's a reasonable thing to consider that there might be some health issues in the house, taking a look at the outside. Just think,
But I know there's others
Well,
There's been others that I have literally gone to the code enforcement and said, listen, I've been in there on an ambulance call, it's an elderly, and he gives me an adult services number to call. Where I'm thinking the house needs to be condemned and it's non-livable, like. So I don't know if we have the right to say what people can live in and not. I mean, this is like gappy walls, like I can look right outside and,
but suppose the outside is clean, but a hoarder lives inside.
right,
Does the government have the right to go in
I
and
don't think we do.
say this is unhealthy? I don't know.
I would say we probably, I'm telling you, he referred me to an adult, like, taking care of an elderly kind of program for these people. So, good idea there, but I don't know.
Well, I'd say dealing with an elderly person that doesn't have the financial resources to help themselves, that's one issue. But someone who's
Capable.
Yeah.
capable and decides to live like that, I don't know, just a thought.
I don't know.
Alright, so, we're working on it.
Thank you.
You've had a lot of years of having to put up with it. A few more months ago.
Yeah.
And it was tough, but
Matter of time.
your voice is heard.
Thank you.
So, alright, if there's nothing else on the old business, we'll move into new business. Changes to the detail ordinance.
Okay,
Detail,
Explain what a detail is first.
detail ordinance is our police officers are hired by, say, Eversource or whomever wants to pay the police department, and they like the blue lights when they're doing their details, like tree cutting or whether it's setting poles, whatever. They sometimes prefer to use police officers, blue lights, because they have a better response for people slowing down and obeying while they're going, that makes it safer. Some places just only want flaggers, whatever, okay. The town lets our officers in their off time do details. The town charges $75 an hour, the officers make 45. All the taxes and all that stuff that comes out of that 45 is normal, okay? And there's so much money put aside for maintenance, gas, that sort of thing, and the town basically gets $25 an hour for them working these details. Out of that detail fund, they just purchased another police car for $23,000, brand new Dodge Charger, okay? So it's a saving to the taxpayers. We are not spending money on police car cruisers. So no, it's a good thing. So basically, what's happening here is, if say Eversource or somebody comes in and has to do some work, and it's supposed to be a good day, but all of a sudden overnight we have a big thunderstorm come in, they have to, cancel it because they can't work out the lightning and stuff like that on the poles, whatever. We in our ordinance have a 12-hour period that they have to give our officers, or else they have to pay X amount of money. The chief downstairs has looked at other surrounding towns, what they charge, and they only have a 2-hour cancellation notice, not 12 hours. Okay? And that 2 hours, actually, if an officer is coming in to do the detail for them, it pays him for those 2 hours, so the town doesn't start doing it. Okay? So, if they have to cancel, they give a couple hours to for the officers, and get ready to come to work, that sort of thing, and then they just schedule it for another day. So basically, ours is 12. That means these guys have to pay some big money if they cancel. Well, Eversource can afford it where a smaller operation can't. And it's not common to have 12 hours. It's abnormally out of the realm of what they ask for. The 2-hour is basically what the surrounding area officers, other police departments request. So we just want to bring that in line with what they're doing, so. We don't want to take people, it's almost like road charging, so.
Well, right now, if you need a detail signed at 8 AM, the company asking for the detail has to decide by 8 PM the night before what the weather's gonna be like. Well, the weather forecasters can't get it right. How are they gonna get it right 12 hours ahead of time? This would be change it so that they have to be notified within, the police officers have to be notified within 2 hours instead of 12 hours. I think it's a better setup, and apparently that's what other towns are doing.
Do we need to sign this ordinance?
Yep. So he also changed that, it says that no company or corporation shall use flaggers without express written permission. He just wants an express permission. He doesn't want to have to give it in writing. So, yep, this one is from 2012. The only two changes is I got rid of written and I changed it from 12 to 2. And this is the new one that you all have to sign. Okay?
I move that we accept this new revised ordinance concerning details effective 5 June 2017.
Second.
Any more discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance passes. See how quick those ordinances work? And they get done. Good deal. All right, any other new business?
Sort of. We did decide on July 29th for the garden tour. The Recreation Committee is basically sponsoring, but will only be responsible for deciding what to do with the money that's collected.
Spend it.
Since I'm doing, since Tony and I are basically doing the garden tour, just the two of us, I'm kind of taking the bull by the horns and making most, or if not all, the decisions. We were charged $3 a ticket per person, or $5 for a family, and a family could be a husband and wife and any number of children. There will be drawings for prizes. I'm gonna try, I don't know if I even have the old letter that I got from the town before, but if I can have a letter from the Recreation Committee saying that we're doing this for fundraising, and then I can maybe go around and solicit some gifts from some of the garden companies or whatever. I do have a collection of prizes already stored in my basement, so.
Yeah, I'll look at my old computer and see if I can find something like that. So, I know I made up a Minton Rec Committee letterhead, so to speak, whatever. So,
That'd be wonderful if you could do that.
cool. All right, if there's nothing else, we have to go into public participation. I think we pretty much beat that one to death. So, all right, we have to move into a non-public session at 7:47. Do I have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this is going to be RC 91-A:3, Roman numeral II, section I.
Yeah.
I do that on purpose, didn't I? Aye. All right, so